Tonight on Sports Sunday, the NBA free agent frenzy is open. The Rockets targeted Jimmy Butler, but it appears they'll never get a shot at the Sixers guard. Plus, a wild opening few hours. Who has a new home and who's staying put? The Astros have a small army headed to the All-Star game. We'll hear from their six-pack on earning the coveted honor. While on the field, are they back on track? We've got the heroes from the series win over the Mariners and what it means in the AL West race.
The Texans count down to camp. Chronicles' Aaron Wilson joins us to discuss the top 5 questions surrounding this team. Plus, new addition to the coaching staff is a familiar face to Texans fans, Andre Johnson, on becoming a coach and his message to DeAndre Hopkins. And a national honor for Strake Jesuit speedster Matthew Bowling. Are the Olympics in his future? Find out right now on Sports Sunday.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Sunday. Randy McElvoy, Laney Fritz with you. Adam Wexler on vacation, but you'll see him here in just a few minutes talking some Texans. Wow, what a day and what a night. It hasn't slowed down one bit.
It has not. And I really thought we might be standing here talking about Jimmy Butler becoming a Rocket, but Randy, he is headed to Miami, so that is no longer in the future.
That's right. Can't sign until July 6th, but reports all evening. Of course, the free agent period started at 5 o'clock, but the Tomball native agreeing to a 4-year max deal, $142 million deal with the Miami Heat. Philadelphia sending Butler to the Heat, getting Josh Richardson in return, reportedly in the sign and trade. Philadelphia having to work some magic, or the Heat should work some magic as well, moving some dollars to make this thing happen. But that was the #1 target for the Rockets, but looks like that is not going to happen here in this free agency period. Rockets, though, making some minor moves earlier tonight. For Laney, a couple of names we know well.
Yeah, nothing big here, but re-signing Daniel House and Gerald Green, which I think we all kind of expected. House stays here on a 3-year, $11.1 million deal, while Gerald Green stays home on a 1-year deal. So, Randy, right now, this Rockets team is looking exactly the same as it did last season.
Well, you take care of House, and that's important. 3 years, $11 million. I mean, this is a guy they really liked. You know, they feel like he could fit this system offensively. He's that packs a punch offensively, and who knows? He could actually, if they decide to send Eric Gordon to the bench and come off the bench again, House could see some time, maybe in a starting role. And we all saw what Gerald Green did the last year with the Rockets. A fan favorite. He wanted to stay here in Houston, so obvious and a good fit for him. I know he's happy about this deal.
Okay, so since the Jimmy Butler deal did not go through, let's kind of talk about those pieces that they were willing to trade off for Jimmy Butler are now here. We're talking Capella, Gordon, and Tucker. How is this locker room now, knowing that they were willing to trade you off for Jimmy Butler, didn't get him, assuming these guys are going to be staying here and they're going to run it back, so to speak, as they talked about last season once again? I'm
curious to see kind of how this plays out in the free agent period moving on who the Rockets now are going to pursue. And will it mean still potentially giving up 1 or 2 of these guys? You think who's left out there now? A lot of these big names have been moving over the last several hours, but Capella's name has been linked to Boston. It was linked to Sacramento. That was all part of a sign and trade that potentially could have involved Jimmy Butler as well. But since that is not going to happen, you got to wonder if these guys are coming back. I'd love to see all 3 back. I'm fans of all 3 of these guys.
I see them definitely keeping Gordon and Tucker at this point now without that Jimmy Butler going through. And then as far as Harden and Chris Paul, there's been all these rumors about are they getting along. Chris Paul has
finally put that to bed.
I think we can, because Chris Paul himself shot those things down. So did Daryl Morey. So we have to just assume by what they're showing us on social media that the chemistry on this team is okay right now.
I think when camp opens in September, October, it's going to be Paul saying, there's never a problem between us. We get along just fine.
You never know.
We'll see what happens in that situation. Now, we talked at the top now about all the big names moving. There was a lot of movement. It didn't take long at all.
A lot of teams got better today.
When the doors open, I think the big winner, don't you think, would be the Brooklyn Nets on what's gone down so far? It appears they are the big winners early in free agency. Deals already in the works. Let's talk about Kevin Durant now. 4 years, $164 million. We thought he would talk to the Clippers. You know, Golden State had a chance to keep him, but he's headed to Brooklyn now. Of course, he's going to miss much of the year with the torn Achilles. Nets also getting Kyrie Irving, leaving the Celtics. 4 years, $141 million. If that wasn't enough, DeAndre Jordan also going to Brooklyn. 4 years, $40 million.
Yeah, whoever got Durant was definitely going to be the winner, but they really maxed out with a clean sweep with those 3. Other major moves out east, Kemba Walker moving on from Charlotte to Boston. Celtics lose big man Al Horford to Philly. Sixers lose veteran sharpshooter J.J. Redick, who is teaming up with the #1 overall pick, Zion, down in New Orleans. Randy, the Pelicans are looking really good right now.
They really are.
The Rockets, that kind of worries me how much other teams got better today and they didn't.
There's still time. They got to get moving, though. Players staying put. Damian Lillard, he agrees to a supermax extension, 4 years, $196 million. He's staying in Portland through 2025. Mavs extend Porzingis 5 years, $158 million. Former Aggie Chris Middleton extends with Milwaukee, among some of the big names staying put. So quite the evening across the NBA. We'll keep you posted on any Rockets movement as well in the coming days. Right now, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little Astros. The ace, Justin Verlander. For Verlander, good news. He got the nod to the All-Star game again, his 8th appearance in the big game, the Midsummer Classic. And there's a good chance the way this all plays out, Lane, he pitched today and the way it works out, he could actually start the game. Maybe. He's been steady. 10-3 record, 2.86 ERA.
Yeah, JV's headed for Cleveland, and so is Garrett Cole. Cole, 8-5 on the season, 161 strikeouts. He'll be making his 3rd All-Star appearance. Ryan Presley, first one for him, so that's exciting.
Yeah, but Ryan's going for the first time. He's excited. Here's Verlander.
Truly, you don't know what you're going to get.
After going to a few in a row, you kind of start to take it for granted, and then, after some injuries and some down years and missing it for a few years in a row, I think it gave me a new appreciation for how much I enjoy these games and really just the enjoyment of being selected by your peers.
All right, Justin Verlander right there. Of course, the other day, final results came in Thursday night, Laney, after a 28-hour voting period. Alex Bregman's going to start at third base, his 2nd All-Star appearance. He was MVP last summer.
Yeah, meanwhile, George Springer and Michael Brantley earned 2 of the outfield spots. Springer goes to his 3rd Midsummer Classic, and it's the 4th for Brantley. Houston's 3 starters are the most for any team in the league. All 3 are very humbled by the honor.
Super thankful to all the Astros fans and all the fans across the country. It's incredible. It's an honor and a dream come true.
Thank you to everybody, and I'll honor that for sure and enjoy the day.
Tremendous honor to be voted in, to such a high level, and being out there every day with my teammates. I can't thank them enough for helping push me to get me to this level.
So after the game today in the clubhouse, Randy, the guys I think were most excited for Ryan Presley.
Oh, yeah.
His first All-Star game. He's been one of the elite relief pitchers in the league since joining the Astros last season. It's really incredible at this point in his career that he's playing some of the best baseball he's ever played.
He's going to soak it all in when he gets to Cleveland. That first time is a tremendous honor, and he's fired up. And you're right, he's been one of the best relievers. Fun to watch. Been a key for the Astros so far in this season. Now, speaking of the Astros on the field as well, good news. Little bounce back this weekend against Seattle. Today they win the series. Good to see Yordan Alvarez healthy. Smacks a double to right field to get it going today. Brings in Springer and Altuve. Astros on top 2-1. Top of the 3rd after a Bregman triple. Look who's doing it again. It's Alvarez again. RBI knock. Astros out front 3-1.
Yeah, Garrett Cole did a great job today. 7 innings, 1 run, and 10 strikeouts. Jake Marisnick and Jose Altuve also added RBI knocks in the 8th inning here. 6-1 Astros would be the final as they win their 2nd straight.
Executed a lot of pitches today. I thought Max was on his game. We were communicating well all day. I thought the answer from Alvarez there early in the game to their home run was especially effective.
All right, still to come on Sports Sunday, we're talking some Texans. There he is, Andre Johnson. He's got a new role. He's the coach on the staff over there. He's talking about it coming up.
Plus, we talk with the Chronicles' Aaron Wilson. 5 things to expect heading into this training camp. That's next.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan. This is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
All right, we're counting down the days to the start of Houston Texans training camp. They'll be back at home after spending the last 2 camps, Lady, out in West Virginia.
Yeah, only 25 days away from the players strapping on pads. Their pads in preparation for the 2019 season. Camp begins July 25th at the Houston Methodist Training Center. So here's Adam Wexler with more on a new coach joining the staff this season.
This Texans offseason has been rather unique. There are some new names in the building. There are familiar faces back on the field. There's one very familiar face trying to lend all he can to getting this team, his team, to heights they've never reached before.
There's really no disputing he's the best the Texans have ever had on offense.
25-20, 15, 10, 5, rock and roll! The Texans win it!
Though that could change for Andre Johnson in the future.
Watson loads up, fires back in the end zone. Touchdown, DeAndre Hopkins!
Johnson has traded in his jersey and red jacket to join the Texans football staff. It's an adjustment.
Things that I may see, they don't see. And I think that's the biggest thing, like, you know, just catching yourself with explaining things like that, you know, because I've been explaining something and I'm telling the guy, like, hey, you can't feel that coverage, and he's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Johnson's official title, Special Advisor to the head coach and general manager. And he's pleased with the transition early on.
It's going good. Just being on this side of it, it's different, but at the end of the day, it's football.
He has a chance to help a special group of players like Deshaun Watson and Johnson's former teammate DeAndre Hopkins.
Spin move, 40, 35, DeAndre Hopkins inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. What a catch and run by Nuke!
As crazy as it may sound, he still asks me questions, you know, when he sees different things. We watched some of his tape from last season. He asked me what I thought about the route or what I thought about what he did, and, you know, I give him my honest opinion.
Watson, too, will seek advice from Coach Johnson.
He's a guy that played in this league for a long time. He's played with a lot of different quarterbacks, so he has the receiver's perspective and also being up there with the coaching staff. So, yeah, I spend some time with him when I can. I'm always running back and forth with Tim Kelly and Carl, but whenever I see him, we sit down and we talk and try to chop it up.
I had a few people call me coach. I don't really like it, to be honest.
Hopkins and Johnson shared the field together for 2 seasons. What Andre did prior to DeAndre's arrival is what Hopkins is doing since Andre's departure. Take a look at their career numbers through their first 95 games. Remarkably similar, though a healthy Hopkins and Watson could see D-Hop continue to outpace Dre on trips to the end zone. Guys?
All right, thanks a lot, Wex. Talking more Texans now. We're joined by Aaron Wilson, about to start his 5th season with Houston Chronicle, covering this football team. Great to see you, man.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we just saw the piece on Andre Johnson and his new role, and we saw the comparison with DeAndre Hopkins and the great careers he's had. What do you think about this new role with Andre?
I think he's an outstanding resource for the Texans. When you think about having a guy like him that's Hall of Fame credentials, and he's got the versatility to scout wide receivers, working with the personnel department, and also being that guy that can really have that institutional knowledge to tell the young guys, this is how you play the game, this is how you work on and off the field. It's a great way for him to dip his toe in the water and see, do I want to be a coach? Do I want to be a scout? Do I want to do this?
We've got you here tonight because training camp is 25 days away. We've got the top 5 questions, in your opinion now, entering training camp. Here are your top 5. We're going to go through these, and we could go on and on, but let's roll through these. Let's start with the leadership structure you think is number 1 on this list.
Right, no general manager after the firing of Brian Gaine. And what they have left, Bill O'Brien, primary football voice, but you have Chris Olsen in the realm of the contracts. That's his expertise. And then you've got some younger guys that not a lot of people know about, named Matt Bezergian, James Lipford. They'll do a lot of the scouting and be a resource for Bill O'Brien and Chris Olsen. And, of course, Jamie Roots. All of them report directly to Cal McNair. It's a little different not having a general manager.
Seems very odd.
It's a little bizarre,
yeah.
But can you do business this way? Yes, you can. And if you look at other organizations, not everybody has that traditional GM. The Texans certainly don't right now.
And beyond the front office leadership, what do you think about kind of the leadership structure within the coaches and players of this team?
Right, I think they've got enough veterans at this point when you think about DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, and some really a young offensive line where you've got a few established vets like Zach Fulton, at least that have been around, Nick Martin. I think that they've got a good locker room chemistry. What needs to come together is all these new players that you've got in the secondary and some really
young offensive linemen that they drafted, and they've got to learn how to fit into the fabric of the locker room really quickly.
All right, number 2 on your list, top 5 questions, challenges, the offensive line. We've been talking about this a long time, right?
The group that got the most heat last season, I would say, hands down, and a group that now has a lot of new faces, people that this organization has invested into. Do you think that the sky's the limit for this group, or what are you expecting?
Oh, I think just being solid would be a major accomplishment. They were bad last year. They gave up the most sacks in the NFL. Some of it their fault, some of it Deshaun Watson holding the ball a bit longer than you would like, but it's part of his improvisational style. When you think about this offensive line, you just got to get the best 5 you can on the field. To me, talent-wise, that would be Titus Howard at left tackle, Martinez Rankin at left guard, Nick Martin at center, Zach Fulton at right guard, and I would still stick with Chantrell Henderson for now at right tackle and see if Max Sharping's ready.
Improvements in the secondary, that's on your list as well. Enough improvements, should we say? And how do the pieces come together there in the
It's debatable whether they're better. You lost Tyrann Mathieu, you lose Kareem Jackson, so you lost a ball-hawking safety and a hard-hitting corner. Tayshaun Gibson, I think, is going to be better than Mathieu against tight ends. I think that's a good addition. I'm excited about Justin Reed in his second season. He was such a hit as a rookie.
The health of key players, that I think we can all agree is going to be huge.
Right, after last season with what they went through with Will Fuller and Kiki Kuti, Fuller tears his ACL. It's touch and go whether he'll be ready for the first game. And Kiki Kuti, I know he had a good spring and he thinks he's got his hamstring problem solved. Let's see how he does during the grind of training camp and during real games if that crops up again, because if it does, then they're without one of the most talented slot receivers in the game. And
J.D. Clowney. Are we going to see this guy at all during training camp, or is he not until first week of the regular season?
No, he will not be there.
When the paychecks start, he's going to be there.
When $900,000 game checks start, Randy, that's when we're going to see Jadeveon Clowney, and he will gladly cash those checks. But until then, no, he is not required to be there. He's an unsigned franchise player, and I do not predict a contract extension this year, if ever, unless things change. At this point, especially with no GM, I think it's going to be status quo for Jadeveon Clowney, which is this one-year rental situation.
All right. We're 25 days out from training camp. Good stuff as always. Aaron Wilson for the Chronicle.
Thanks,
good
guys.
to see you. Thanks for coming in. Talking football. Always good talking Texan football.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. All right, great conversation. Hey, open workouts for fans during training camp, if you didn't know, on 6 dates, August 1st, 3rd, the 10th, and 11th. Then against the Detroit Lions, they'll work out against each other August 14th and 15th. Here's the deal, though. You know the drill. They're back home. Fans have to obtain a ticket to be allowed inside to go out and support the Texans here back in Houston. Good to see him back.
Looking forward to all the heat out there. Big week for Houston sports legends Dan Pastorini, AJ Foyt, George Foreman, and Jackie Burke, all inducted last February in the Houston Sports Hall of Fame. Then this past week, they got the bling. All 4 received their rings and their walk of fame, and they were all humbled by the honor to cap off their inductions.
I thought all the rings were going to be one, you've seen them all. I never had any idea I'd get blown away with this ring. I was blown away.
This is the most beautiful award I've ever had in my life. I've had a Super Bowl ring, and it didn't mean anything to me. This means more to me than anything.
All right, what a day for those guys. Hey, still ahead on Sports Sunday. Are you into this World Cup? Team USA on to the semifinals. We'll talk some soccer straight ahead.
Rapinoe sends it in low. Goal, U.S.
U.S. women's soccer team taking care of business Friday, defeating the host country France 2-1 over in Paris behind 2 goals from co-captain Megan Rapinoe. Next up for the women, a semifinal matchup Tuesday against England. All right, U.S. men's team in action tonight, taking on Curaçao in the Gold Cup quarterfinals in Philadelphia. They advanced, winning 1-0 behind a Weston McKennie goal that came in the 25th minute. The men's team will now take on Jamaica coming up in the semifinals. That's set for Wednesday night in Nashville, Tennessee. All right, Lee, one of the cool stories last couple of weeks we've covered the record-setting performance on the track by Strake Jesuits' own Matthew Boling. He's gotten the national and worldwide attention, deservingly so. This guy can fly.
Yeah, he's gone viral quick, and he's insane. Strake Jesuits' Matthew Boling named the Gatorade National Boys Track and Field Player of the Year today. The sprinter won the 100-meter dash at the state meet earlier this year with a time of 10.13 seconds.
All right.
Boling also made national headlines in April. His wind-aided 9.98 in the 100-meter was the fastest all-conditions time ever by an American high school athlete. He's honored by the Gatorade Award.
At the beginning of this year, I just wanted to win the state one. But as the year progressed, I thought I actually had a chance to win, and it means a lot, especially since it's such a big award.
He's just amazing the way he has handled it all. He's handled it probably better than we have.
Yeah, I think that's right. He really has.
His grace, and he's just stayed so grounded.
My biggest goal is to make it to the Olympics and make it to that professional stage where I can make world championship teams and Olympic teams. So yeah, just get better and try to make those teams that have my mindset.
All right, good luck to him. Great event the other day there at Strake Jesuit, a national honor, well-deserved by Matthew. All right, a little boxing. Jermall Charlo put on a show in front of a hometown crowd at NRG Arena last night. The Houston native displayed a dominating performance, retaining the WBC middleweight title. Unanimous decision. It went the full 12, but he took care of business against Brandon Adams. So congratulations to Jermall Charlo. He retains that middleweight title. Sports Sunday's coming right back.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan.
So June is over, and it's been a rough month of June for the Astros, but they got the sweep of the Mariners, and now they got a day off, and then 2 games in Colorado before they come back.
Good bounce back in a sweep at home over at Minute Maid Park. Now they go on the road, then they come back home. So they can finish strong until the All-Star break and keep padding that lead in the AL West. Also, we'll keep an eye on NBA free agency. We'll let you know if anything happens with the Rockets. Thanks for watching. We'll do it again next Sunday. We leave you with some Astros highlights.
Have a good night.
There's a ball ripped into right field for a base hit. Springer scores. Altuve scores. Bregman on his way to third base. Alvarez with a 2 RBI double. Astros on the board first. Career.